Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is an extra lesson in English by Sheikh Yunus Palanpuri, Damat Barakatuhum. Listen to today's lesson. The topic of today's lesson is the prophetic prescription for coming into the protection of Allah. Now listen to a hadith. The respected Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever a Muslim clothes his Muslim brother, then as long as the clothes remain on the body of the person wearing them, Allah will bring the person who gives the clothes in his watchful eye and in his protection. This hadith is in Tirmidhi. For this reason, we should give clothing to others. We should clothe others. Give your clothing to your servants. Give your clothing to scholars. The best is to take the other person's clothing measurements and have the clothing sewn especially for them, so that they keep wearing it. Keep this in mind. By clothing a person, the one who is giving the clothing will remain in the protection of Allah as long as the clothing remains on the person wearing them. Allah Ta'ala will especially watch over the one who is giving the clothing. For this reason, it was the practice of the pious predecessors to have clothing sewn for the great scholars of their time. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah had all the clothing measurements of the scholars of his time written down. So-and-so scholar wears so-and-so size, so-and-so scholar wears so-and-so size, so-and-so scholar wears so-and-so size. And immediately, clothing would reach all the scholars in the month of Ramadan or at the end of the month of Sha'ban. And this clothing would be of a good match and would be of a good quality. Imam Abu Hanifa had a silk business and he had multiple businesses. He used to say, provide good clothing that does not rip. As long as these clothes remain on the person's body, the person providing the clothes will be in the protection of Allah. We should keep this in mind. Provide your servants and your workers with good clothes according to your ability. They are in your service day and night. The respected Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, your male slaves and your female slaves. I will explain. Today there are no male slaves and female slaves. I will explain later what is a male slave and a female slave. However, when the topic comes, I will explain it to you in more detail. The Prophet Muhammad said, your servants are your brothers. Allah Ta'ala has put them in your service. Then whoever has been given their brother to serve them, then they should feed them from that which they eat themselves. And they should clothe them from that which they wear themselves. And they should only give them such a load of work or amount of work which they are able to carry out and handle. If the servant is not able to do the work themselves, then the person in charge should help the servant themselves. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. For this reason, many people have male and female servants in their house. Treat them with goodness and keep them with goodness. They are also, and he is also the servant of Allah, and you are also the servant of Allah. She is also the servant of Allah, and you are also the servant of Allah. Allah has placed your hands over theirs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put them in your service. Keep this in mind. I have taken these details from my book, The Society of and the Community of Medina. I have given you the references for the hadith. Refer to them in those books. Now read along with me. Allah's protection from the evil of the clouds. Read the dua. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min sharri ma ursila bihi. O Allah, we seek your protection from the evil with which this cloud has been sent. I have quoted this in my book, The Protection of Allah, the 6th stage, page 207, hadith number 98. I have mentioned the reference there. Nowadays, there are many clouds, and they can be seen from the airplanes. We should read this dua, and Allah Ta'ala will protect us from the evil of these clouds. May Allah Ta'ala grant us all complete protection from all types of evil. Ameen. Wa akhir da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.